This is the 11th hour. With news and commentary for King James Bible believers, here's Greg Miller.
At the date of this recording, August 2nd, 2011, we have just witnessed another example of the crooks in Washington, D.C. in both political parties lying to the world in order to rip off the American people, just like Obamacare, just like the stimulus. Lies and deceit. That's all it is. For example, for weeks we were told that the debt ceiling had to be raised or Moody and others would lower America's credit rating and hurt the already staggering economy. And again, just like with the stimulus, they made it sound like martial law would take effect if something wasn't done. The truth is, Moody and other credit rating agencies aren't going to lower America's credit rating because of the debt ceiling. They're going to lower America's credit rating because of the out-of-control spending and massive out-of-control debt and interest on that debt. And now that we have a deal in which supposedly $2.5 trillion is going to be spent and not fully paid off for a decade, the deal that we were told would save our national government from its credit rating being dropped. Do you think for a second that any of these politicians and media prostitutes are going to apologize for lying to you when the government credit rating is dropped anyway? Don't hold your breath. This is just one example as to why I have only voted for a handful of Democrats and Republicans in my lifetime. I would much rather give my vote to an independent or third-party candidate than to feed these lions who then turn and feed on us. They're a bunch of parasites, and the lies and the spin never end, as the liberals pretend that the Tea Party won the debate on this debt limit increase, debt ceiling increase, and that somehow the Tea Party got their way, and conservatives supposedly won the day. Meanwhile, Republican leaders like Mitch McConnell try to convince true conservatives that we really made out on this deal. Now, why are they doing this? I believe they are pretending a Tea Party victory because they know that this will not make things better, and they know that the mass majority of American voters are as stupid as the summer day is long, and they know that the dumb, lazy, entertainment-obsessed American public won't know any different when things get worse, and they blame it on the Tea Party and their influence. That's just how Joseph Goebbels did it to the Jews. The Nazis were in total control, but constantly claiming the Jews ran things while demonizing and maligning them. And then when things got bad, it wasn't Nazi policy, but those dirty Jews who were the problem. Fast forward 75 years and replace Goebbels and the Nazis with either of our two bankster parties in American politics, and then you can replace Jews with Tea Party or right-wingers. But my purpose isn't to incite political revolution. I encourage you to do what you can and be faithful to God and our God-given Constitution. But my real purpose is to inform and to remind you that if you are not a born-again Christian and you think this is hell, you ain't seen nothing yet. You can fix this world and die fat and wealthy, but if you don't trust in Jesus Christ, you'll split hell wide open. You'll face the judge, Jesus, at a great white throne at the end of time, and then be cast into an everlasting lake of fire. I urge you to turn to Jesus Christ so you don't end up in the same hell that these banksters and politicians, unrepentant, lying, thieving reprobates, are going to end up in. And I need to remind you, Christians, that you're not going to fix things, but you're called to be salt and light, and to be faithful, fighting the good fight of faith, and standing for truth. The unbeliever writhes in anguish because he has no sense of God's justice. But the Bible-believing Christian knows what God is going to do with these ultra-wealthy banksters who abuse their power and hurt us poor folk. God knows who we're dealing with. In James chapter 2, verses 6 and 7, he says, "Do not rich men oppress you and draw you before the judgment seats? Do not they blaspheme that worthy name by which ye are called?" You better believe they do. Have you heard these filthy blasphemers like Dick Cheney, who told Patrick Leahy to go F himself? Or George W. Bush, who called the Constitution just a god-blank piece of paper? And then you have Joe Biden calling Obamacare a big effing deal. And here's your blaspheming president's pastor, Jeremiah Wright.
No, 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 not God bless America, God damn America, that's in the Bible for killing innocent people, God damn America.
And here's your blaspheming president.
You ain't my bitch. Buy your own damn fries. It's getting way too complicated for me. Now you know that guy ain't. Sorry ass motherfucker got nothing on me. Sure you can have my number, baby. There are white folks, and then there are ignorant motherfuckers like you.
America elects reprobates like this and expects what? Integrity? Honesty? No, we get what we elect. As Ann Barnhart of American Thinker put it, Obama gets over $2 trillion to spend before the 2012 election. He's going to buy his reelection with this money. There are no real spending cuts. They're only cutting the increase. There is a massive tax increase that goes in effect when the Bush tax cuts end January 1st, 2013. Ann Barnhart says again, quote, "Even if you accept the $1 trillion in cuts over 10 years propaganda, that is only $100 billion per year, which is essentially meaningless relative to the size of the problem. Furthermore, even a minuscule uptick in interest rates, which given the massive debasement of our currency is now a mathematical certainty, will completely consume that $100 billion per year. It's all a joke," end quote. It is just that. A Marxist radical named Barack Insane Obama is just a puppet. The system is owned by banksters. The real governing branch is the Federal Reserve, and under them are three subservient branches, the executive, judicial, and legislative. The ultra-wealthy banksters are enslaving the masses just in time for the Antichrist and a 7-year period of judgment in which God will wipe every single one of them off of the face of the earth. I have no doubt that judgment is coming. James 5:1 says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you." That's a message to you, Mr. Obama. That's a message to you, banksters. James 5:2, "Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered." That's definitely not the American government. They print fiat money. "And the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days." That's the Rothschilds. That's the Rockefellers. That's the Bill Gates. That's the Ted Turners. That's all these rich, ultra-wealthy banksters and their puppets. They're all going to pay. There's a payday coming. "Be ye also patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh." and not a moment too soon.